So let's talk a little bit about this very viral cats and dogs outcome from the debate. Now, a lot of people, if you haven't heard, they're making remixes, they're making memes, they're making all sorts of things, but people, more than anything, are realizing what's happening with the mainstream media. And so if you haven't seen the clip, let me show you very quickly. This has been making its way around the internet. A lot of people have not even watched the debate, but they've seen this clip. And so I want to make some comments about this.
They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
There have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
the people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
television. But the people
I'm
on television saying their dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Again, the Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice President Harris, I'll let you respond to the rest of what you've heard.
You talk about extreme.
Did you eat that cat? Stand up. Someone got rubber gloves. She's covered in blood. She destroyed that cat. This is fucked. She had cat hair on her mouth.
I see a group of Haitian people. There was about 4 of them. They all had geese in their hands. They got away. I couldn't make out the first 3 in the license plate.
And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
And then this.
So again, I want to just quickly touch on what's happening there. If you listen to it verbatim, you don't know, you have no context, you don't know what's going on, if it's true or not. What you would see is just 2 people, or rather 3 people against 1 fighting. But if you're smart and you're understanding that the highest order that you have is to understand the truth, then this takes priority over any bias you have over one candidate or the other. Whether you see somebody like the news as being a credible authority or not, you're looking at the actual words that people are saying, and in this case, Trump saying that people are eating cats and dogs as something as being a hypothesis or a fact for which you can disprove or prove based on some other circumstantial evidence. Now, what's happening here is that clearly, if you understand logical fallacy, one of the tactics that is being used here is an appeal to authority. An appeal to authority is the idea that you use some title, some credibility behind something. Like, for instance, you say you're a doctor, and because I'm a doctor and you're not a doctor, anything I say with regards to medicine is true. It should be taken with a higher level of validity than what you say. All of these things is a logical fallacy surrounding appeal to authority. And again, I'm not saying that doctors and these people with authority are necessarily liars. I'm not saying that, but it's a logical fallacy because you give them more credibility than they actually deserve. And so this is something that you have to watch out for with regards to how logic works. And so this is what they were doing to gaslight Trump. Now, I'm not here to say that everything Trump says I'm agreeing with. I want to understand, as I have said just before, that the highest order is that you want to find out what the truth is. So I'm sitting there objectively, even as a Trump supporter, standing back and saying, okay, to what degree is what he's saying true? Is it actually both cats and dogs? Is he talking about other animals? Is he talking about one and he mistakenly grouped them all together? To what degree is there some truth or facts behind it? Or, as a lot of the media likes to say, baseless conspiracy theories. BBC, these guys, they all coming out saying, oh, Trump is spewing baseless conspiracy, baseless statements about this cats and dogs being eaten, right? When really there are people, and again, you can take it with a grain of salt, there are people online. And just like with the clip you saw, people being arrested, people on Facebook even, people, as Trump has said on TV, these people are saying something. And just like in a court of law, if somebody is coming up and they are giving their sworn testimony or affidavit for something, then it's something for which you can take with a greater degree of seriousness. And this is what's happening. And so this is why you want to take a step back, recognize when it is that they're saying certain things to prove their point, to make other people look bad, and in this case, Trump, for that moment, but then step back and say, is this true? And so people that have a higher level of maturity and a higher level of wanting to find out the truth, they're not automatically going to dismiss Trump as being this lunatic and ha 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 and laughing at them, just like what Kamala and these mainstream guys had done, to say that's wild. Why would you say that? This is unbelievable. And quickly coming to the conclusion that because somebody like the mayor is saying something doesn't necessarily mean it is true. And so the good news is that a lot of people have already come to this. And so it's funny because yes, there are funny memes and these things happening. But what's more important is that because this issue is a neutral issue, and by neutral, I mean that it's about animals, And people, without regards to anything political or anything that leans left or right or whatever it is, they want to really find out, are people eating cats and dogs? Without this being a Trump statement, or if it was a Kamala statement, they want to know, the everyday person who's a pet lover, what's going on. This wasn't like with hydroxychloroquine and COVID and with China and these other political issues, immigrants and all this stuff. It's not about that. This one was, he said something fairly neutral about a neutral topic, cats and dogs. I want to know if it's true or not. And so this is a good point for which people are now digging into the idea of, well, forget what Trump said, forget what the mainstream media, the mayor said. I want to find out for myself what's happening. So a lot of guys are digging this up. I saw a recent video by I think Tyler Oliveira and many others who are trying to investigate and see what they are saying. And so it goes deeper than the townspeople saying, oh, I didn't see it, or I did see it, because anybody in America can say some opinion and it could be the wrong opinion. And so that's why people are getting to the detail of, let's go grassroots on the ground and find out not only just what people are saying, because you could live in a town and be incorrect because you didn't see it, because your eyes didn't see it, doesn't mean it's not true. If it happened once, if it happened many times, and that's something that not everybody in that town can see, then that means it's true. And so this is what's happening with the facts these days of getting to the bottom of something. And so the good news is that this, even as I'm researching a little bit more, Nielsen says that 67 million people watched the debate, which was up from the Trump-Biden debate back in June. But what's crazy is that there are certain things that are going viral that are gaining more momentum than the actual debate itself. If you go on ABC News or TikTok even, they have a 24 million view about the closing statements, right?
So she just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it?
So this is a very strong point that was circulated through the internet. It's going very viral, even more viral than the entire debate itself. And so these types of things are being shown and people are seeing it. And so you can see that this in some sense backfired for ABC and the mainstream media, because this resonated with a lot of people. And people were asked, who do you think won the election? And if you see here, a lot of people across different media sources or polling sources are saying that Trump won the debate. And so this is, again, I don't want to say subjective, but it's a matter of optics and opinion that is allowing and causing this to become a conclusion for many people. But the point here is that people are seeing beyond the gaslighting, the mainstream media and their tactics. So I just want to give you guys some encouraging words here, because it is going to be a crazy ride the rest of this year and what's to come, because people are waking up in droves. And so you have to recognize, if you want to get to a higher level of maturity, of information discernment, which God wants us to in this hour, God is training us, giving us the negatives in some sense, for us to be able to kind of wrestle through it, to really use our heads, not being sheep being fed like a bandwagon effect. None of that. It's to think on your own. This hour is being given to us so that we would be able to step up and think on our own. This is what's happening with not only the young generation, but to many of you, the older generation, the millennials, the Gen Z, all these guys that are waking up in droves. So those that are lost, some of them, as Q likes to say, 5 to 10% or 5 to 7% will be lost forever. You can't do anything about it. But to others, we can pray for them. We can have them handhold them in some sense through the process. And over time, they will see and they will understand. So God bless you guys. Love you guys. Talk to you guys very soon. So I forgot to show you guys just all fun and games here, but people making memes and remixing Trump saying this, 23,000 videos, and then millions and millions of views. But I thought it was all fun and games.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dog.
So that guy made it, and then people just dancing to it.
They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs.
Anyway, just wanted to show you guys there's a lot of people having fun with this. There's other people, they're clearly realizing the hypocrisy on the other side and realizing what's really going on, doing their own due diligence and research. So love you guys. Again, talk to you guys soon.